He does indeed have, wow, steals that kill from Fresh, but he does have his portal key as well. It does look like Valkyrie is not going to be alone in the death department here, as another kill goes down on that Hellbringer from that Fresh Pro. Does not look like Magnus is going to be doing too well here. That Bound Eye just really doing work with Shiver, that bird pet of Tundra. I mean, it just affords so much vision at the same time. I mean, so classic MSI stuff. That's a 4-kill streak right now on Empire, and they really got to be feeling the hurt. 20-9, and we're just hitting the 21.5-minute mark just a little bit ago. So yeah, Tundra, portal key, Bound Eye, some good health regen with the Helm of the Black Legion. I don't really see any mana on him. I guess he doesn't really need it at this point. He has that bottle for his all his mana needs. You know, he just hits the bottle. So.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty interesting on Tundra is the Helmet of the Black Legion, and the helmet's getting quite a lot of love lately. Like, a lot of people like to pick it up more nowadays. It's such a good item. Like, I really, like, a lot of people hate it, but it's actually very, very strong because it gives you like HP equivalent of, I don't know, something like 13. Oh god, I'm too lazy to do the maths. It's probably like 14 strength and then 25 health, regen and everything. It's just such a good survivability item. It doesn't cost very much at all.
Yeah, fair enough. Another gank up there. Let's try this again. Another gank up top on that Soul Steer, and Chipper giving away his position with those rockets. He's now going to get hit by all three of these heroes. He might be able to take Andromeda with him, but the crit whip will say otherwise. That's a lot of AoE damage going down on this team. So 22-11 is indeed the score, and right now it's just well in favor of MSI. And I don't know, they're just doing really well as a team right now. Empire just hasn't been able to really get off a lot of these ganks, a lot of these coordinated effects. They're very much on the defensive at this point. I mean, they're down in towers, experience, kills, levels, gold, you know, you name it, they're down at this point. You never really want to count them down and out. But at this point, yeah, it's just making life a lot harder for them. So who else has stuff around here? Gladiator's up top with a level 9 Magnus. When you're looking at a level 14 Gladiator in the face, I'd be a little scared too, especially one with an Assassin's Shroud. Typical fare for Trixie, picking up on that Gladiator. The Assassin's Shroud bonus damage when stealth can really gel nicely with that crit whip, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty interesting because a lot of people don't know it, is that the crit whip actually only applies true damage to the whip. So the target that you hit with your sword does not get true damage, only gets physical damage. So it's really important when you're placing the whip is to not hit your primary target with a sword, but try to hit it with your whip. I just wanted to get that out because a lot of people just don't get that. But definitely strong item pickup. I'm really happy that all the people have moved away from the Ruined Axe pickup, which I find to be bluntly stupid on him. Because, you know, you have a very good splash and the Ruined Axe doesn't add that much for you. I mean, sure, you can farm better, but you are already a pretty good farming machine with, you know, Pitfall being able to spam Pitfall as well. And yeah, it's pretty standard thus far what Gladiator is going for.
Yeah, cookie cutters at this point for almost everyone except this Fresh Pro, who, you know, Gnome's Wisdom on a Madman. You never thought you'd see the day. But he also has a Neophyte's book in the works, so I mean, he could go any number of routes for that. A Staff of the Master would definitely not do anything for him at this point, simply because it does not modify, you know, your ultimate. But gets off a great barrel roll, as it looks like, you know, the Team Empire here trying to take the bait. So hard trying to take the bait with all that flanking that Fresh Pro is doing. But anyway, the Neophyte's book might even turn into, what, a puzzle box down the road, or a tablet of command. And either way, I think that both would be very strong pickups for him at this point, especially since it's 22-11. Whew.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like, Fresh build. So I probably got to watch some of his replays again, playing Madman, if he's adjusted his build that much.
Well, it used to be Nullstone with crit shards, I believe. Definitely the Nullstone. I think the crit shards. I don't know if there's an intermediate item, but he's definitely not going for that Nullstone with this lineup. But But at the same time,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
crit shots don't work so well for Madman because he's got his built-in crit, and that limits, the damage output from rift shots by quite a bit.
right, but you could argue the same for the crit whip on Gladiator, but it's almost standard to pick up crit shards on him.
Yeah. Shall I go into the mechanics, or
No,
shall we just leave it at
I'm just prodding
that I am right and you are wrong?
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah,
We'll leave it at that for the sake of the viewers.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now
I love Congor.
Congosteen. So yeah, just taking a quick look here at Empire. I mean, even with the deficit, what have they been able to accomplish? We got really the makings of that Firebrand on that Valkyrie. Magmus still no portal key, but he does have his treads, and really no big item pickups here for the Chipper either. A few talismans, exile, and his steamboats. I think the biggest item we have right now is the shrunken head on the Soul Stealer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems to be the only thing they got going for them at this point.
Yeah, and it seems that, we were all blinded by Chipper because his performance is as good as it looks, and is all his, hit rockets and stuff. He still has only managed a 3-5 free score, which is, for a burst ganker at this stage of the game, pretty, not terrible, but it's definitely not where you want to be. And that just, that really limits his farm, and thus he hasn't been able to pick up any big items. I mean, Steam Boots and two Talismans of Exile, so not really anything to really speak about. Yeah, and we
just to interrupt you here, Luke. We do got the team fight going on. So Congor does go down. We do have the teleport in from Tundra, setting up some great initiation here on the side for MSI. But they were able to make Madman blow his new tablet of life. But at the same time, they paid 3 heroes for it there. 3 heroes, and now Madman does not care at all much about this Hellbringer, and even the pitfall going down for this Hellbringer. He is definitely going to be seeing better days, and this leaves a very lost-looking Valkyrie who has 17 seconds on her Courageous Leap, doing a great job juking in the jungle, and even gets out of that. I don't know how she pulled the wool over the eyes there, but now, I don't know, being a little too aggressive, maybe she's going to get Storm Spirited. Who has that Storm Spirit? Who has that Storm Spirit? It is indeed Madman. So that Neophyte's book went into a Storm Spirit. So, quite the atypical build for Madman here. I was going to say Glacius could not have that Storm Spirit, but indeed he has that Tablet of Will either way. And it looks like, I don't know, it looks like Gladiator went down at some point there. But overall, just not a very great fight for Empire. They're getting initiated upon by the portal key Tundra. So, yep, sorry to interrupt you there, buddy. I assumed you weren't at that point. So, yeah.
No, I wasn't, but now I am, and I just saw Trixie here, one amazing, pitfall trap again. This Trixie, man, I tell you, he's so amazing. But coming back to Madman, so picking up the Storm Spirit is the cheapest item with built-in percentage-based mana regeneration, and now looking at Madman's mana regeneration, it makes it up to 9.73. So if he spams Stalk, like he hits Stalk, that is, it lasts for, I don't know how long it lasts, however the cooldown is 6 seconds. That means that when he starts, he can use it basically without having to pay any mana for it, because the mana regens so fast that he can actually just spam it endlessly. It is so important to get the mana regeneration up so you can spam Stalk and Stalk and barrel roll. It is really a very unconventional way of getting there. I don't know, what Fresh was thinking. It really worked out, but it just seems so odd that, I have to think about that twice before I confirm it to be viable, and not just Fresh, playing around with anything.
I don't know. Playing around could definitely be the term for this game. 27-13, all the towers advantages. I mean, they even got Congor down, despite having to use the tablets so very quickly. But I don't know. MSI just seems very strong in this game, and this Madman 6-1-5, he is definitely doing well. At least compared to that Chipper that we compared to earlier. 4-6-4 now on the Chipper, so a little bit of a negative score, but at the same time 0-5-6 on Magmus. I mean, he's assisting more than he's dying, which is the aim as that support. But I mean, 6 assists, that's the most anyone has on his team. That's fully half the kills for them, and it's just not doing super hot in that regard.
No, not at all. And especially with now Trixie starting towards his rift charge, having already level 1. And, you know, level 1 rift charge is better than nothing, but once they hit level 4, there's some really strong DPS coming out of Gladiator, and he is really strong at this stage of the game. He's not a super hard carry, he can't solo a team 1 versus 5, but he brings so much AoE damage to the table. I mean, with his ultimate, the pitfall trap, and his whiplash, not whiplash, that's Puppet Master, but with his whip, that is just so much AoE damage. It's so crazy.
I don't know if anyone else calls it that, the crit whip. I should probably find out, but I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Whiplash, crit whip. Yeah, I mean, here we go. Put it together, a Puppet Master and a Gladiator on the same team. A 383 crit coming out there. Pretty nice. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this game is going to go long enough. At the rate they're going, MSI is going to be cracking Empire's base in fairly short order. I mean, we're about, what? I'm at the 32-minute mark, and all extraneous towers are down except this mid one, which is about to get rectified, but they do take out that Valkyrie. Does look like everyone else wants to come in here throwing down their ults, but everybody is just so tanky at this point. They're having a hard time taking down MSI. Out comes the Malphus, a little late, I think, to save really anyone there. They were able to pick up the squishy Andromeda, but it does look like another kill on Lean, that Hellbringer by that Fresh Pro. That's how many Smackdowns is that? I gotta really wonder. And I don't know. Did Soulstealer die and buy back? Yeah, he definitely died and bought back. He died, bought back, and now he's gonna die again. So, fun times. I don't know. Empire, that's a genocide. First one of the game, but you know, extraneous towers down, the gold level, the disadvantage. It's not looking too good.
No, definitely not. And, you know, at this point, yeah, just, you know, so many Smackdowns coming out of Fresh. Really happy to see him smacking people again, because quite lately he hasn't been making that many Smackdowns. But, you know, it seems that he's, you know, coming back to his old way of smacking people all over the place. Hopefully see some smack tricks soon. And, yeah, as you said, you know, the gold lead is above the 20k mark, the experience lead is above the 20k mark. I mean, many people would call this game over, and I have to say, unless they get a superb initiation off and MSI get caught in a bad spot, this game is really hard to lose for MSI now. It's going to be really tough, you know, to actually make some really crucial mistakes that will actually force, you know, a comeback by Empire Gaming. But I don't see Empire Gaming coming back on their own. The only thing that they really could come back is just, you know, capitalize on some major mistakes by MSI.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is looking. And I mean, I'm just taking a quick eyeball here to the levels. We got the level 10 Hellbringer, who's sitting at 272. The most deaths of the game, but that's a three-way tie for who's died the most. But that also comes to the Scandal they're playing on Chipper, but he's at least level 15, and at the same time we just have a now dinged 11 on Magmus. Now compare that to MSI. We do have that level 10 Andromeda. She has died a lot, and by a lot I mean 5. So I mean, tied for third. Well, she is third place for the deaths. 5 deaths, most on their team. But other than that, stuff going on up top. But other than that, I mean, right now the level advantage by itself, you know, which is kind of seen in that experience gap, is just really tremendous at this point. I mean, looking at this fight, Andromeda goes down again because she's really low level. Hellbringer and Magmus just went down again because they're really low level. And Trixie picks up a hat trick with that crit wave, who's now hitting for 400. He has level 4 rift shards. So that was really quick, Trixie. Props to that. But Soulsteer, I mean, he's trying his best. He's level 18. He's carrying this team. He's, you know, way up and above there for his team. He's getting pretty tanky. He has that sword, the shrunken head, the firebrand by by Sword, and he's trying his so hard here. He's able to even take down Tundra, and even looks like Glacius and Trixie. So I mean, you're talking about those mistakes that could really start hurting. But without that Madman, it looked like almost a 4-for-4 mix there. Now,